come once again to discuss things.
Brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's land. Ring capacity 46.1, ring capacity 58.9, ring capacity 64.5, and now I'm charged and burning bright. Ring capacity 75, ring capacity 85.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Milan Jeftik 1992.
How you doing? In brightest
I'm
day,
doing well.
in darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight.
It's not Darkest Night, dipshit.
Okay, sorry. Go right ahead. I failed on the introduction. We're going
You
off.
really did.
I did. See, you don't let me fail properly. You just stop me halfway through the ramble, so I cannot crash and burn successfully. Thanks, Ian.
You're welcome. No, I mean, Milan, what you're basically saying is, Ian, if I'm sticking my hand into an electrical socket, just let me do it. Don't stop me.
Exactly. That's all I want from my best friend. Just for that simple, and just for that simple joy, just to stick my hand in an electrical socket and fry my hand.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. Welcome to the first video in a new series of mini-sodes Milan and I will be doing. Now, in this series, what we're going to be doing is going through the Geoff Johns pre-New 52 Green Lantern run, and I'll just get into it now. We're not going to do Brightest Day, because Brightest Day has nothing to do with Green Lantern at all, and that's annoying. Hal's not even in the main story, and the story in Brightest Day that is in the Green Lantern books is completely pointless and has nothing to do with what's going on. It's more or less a glorified subplot. So yeah, we won't be getting into Brightest Day. We'll end at the end of Blackest Night. So this series will cover a couple of the trades. We'll be reviewing the trades. And the other thing I'm doing that's kind of odd, but I don't care, it makes sense to me, is we're doing the first trade completely out of order from which the issues came out. Because the first episode we're doing, as the title says, is on Green Lantern's Secret Origin. And this came out way late in the Geoff Johns run. It was a retconning of the Green Lantern origin. But next week we'll be doing Green Lantern Rebirth. Or next time we'll be doing Green Lantern Rebirth, okay?
Okay, then. That's great. Well, a little history on the story for how Ian basically strong-armed me into this. Essentially, I've been hearing Ian babble on about this, Geoff Johns fellow and this Green Lantern stuff for since I met him, essentially. And so he's just going, Milan, check this out, Milan. Check this out, or I'll hurt you physically and emotionally. And over time, he just broke me over the months that I know him, over the years that I knew him. He slowly poisoned me with Geoff Johns. Just saying, oh, this is cool, this is really cool. You should check this out, Milan. And, and then he started beating me. And, well, it's, yeah, I know, but, yeah, okay, but, yeah, this, I'm happy that it did get me into this. I really did quite enjoy this story.
Yeah, so Secret Origin, as I said, is Geoff Johns' retcon of the Green Lantern origin. And I mean, they've done Green Lantern's origin. It's not been done to death like Superman or Batman's has, but they've done it a couple times. The one that was in canon before this involved Hal Jordan going to jail for drunk driving. So, as you can imagine, it did kind of need to be touched up to make him into a more, worthy hero.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want Green Lantern to essentially be some sort of Hollywood asshole who gets...
Yeah, now let me ask you, Milan, which version of Secret Origin did you get? Do you have the one with Ryan Reynolds on the cover?
Yes. See, I have this.
Oh, okay.
I have this copy in my library, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's a book adaptation of like the movie." And
Nope.
I know it's not, but it's just like
it's just Ryan Reynolds did the introduction. I actually read the introduction, and it's really sweet. I'm still sad that the movie did not do better.
Yeah, it's funny because this should have been just straight up adapted into a movie. Because the thing is with the Green Lantern movie, I like bits of it. I know I've been raggy on it, but it's just like it has some really cool bits. And the still images of the costume looked really cool. I'm like, oh my God, that's fucking Ryan Reynolds, and looking like kind of a Green Lantern or whatever. And basically, the thing is, they got Ryan Reynolds. They got the guy who was the Deadpool in the role of Green Lantern, and I'm like, Green Lantern in this book is, from what I know, is basically an old school flyboy army brat with some anger issues, but overall a charming individual. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, but with CGI on him in the movie.
I guess I disagree with that, but we'll get in. We'll leave the movie out of this.
We'll cover the movie later on.
Maybe.
Okay,
so Secret Origin. The reason I'm doing this out of order is because it sets stuff up for Blackest Night, and I'm not going to say what it sets up. Milan, you've read parts of Blackest Night, so you might have caught it, but I'm not going to say what it sets up. Because that's why I chose to do it first, is because when you read it in the order at which the books came out, it's like really obvious that, oh, this is totally setting up stuff for Blackest Night. But I feel like, and I'm curious to see if this works or not, I feel like if we read it this way, going toward Blackest Night with this as our start, then Milan's going to have a different view of it and be like, oh my God, they set that up all the way back in his origin.
Yeah, I know. That's my plan, because that's the thing with comics and order. You know, sometimes they shoot themselves in the foot, but me being a Green Lantern version, essentially, you know, this is a great way to pop my, you know, cosmic cherry, as it were.
And there go all the viewers.
Oh, come on. It's just an analogy. It's not like everyone's a prude. It's just like, yes,
yeah.
It's an analogy about stuff that happens in the real world, and I just added a cosmic whimsicalness to that, you know,
You added a cosmic whimsicalness to violent sexual relations.
What's violent about popping a cherry?
I don't know. Let's not get into it.
By the way, what
All
does
right,
popping
Milan.
a cherry even mean? I don't know what that analogy actually means.
I'm not gonna explain it to you.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, so, in this we see Hal Jordan... let me just start with one thing I really like about it. The entire first issue, minus the first page, nothing to do with Hal Jordan as a Green Lantern. Like, only the last couple pages have anything to do with Abin Sur, but the very first issue of the thing it's all just him. I really like that about it.
Yes, funny enough, when I first started reading this book, I had a basic idea of who the Green Lantern was, and, you know, kind of Chuck Yeager, but with superpowers or whatever. And this book really it's really sweet. I mean, when you first see little Hal, you know, looking up at his dad, you know, with the American flag waving behind him in the airbase, and he's like, golly gee, Daddy, you're a man that flies fucking fighter jets and everything. That's like the ultimate Americana, like just a sweet little army brat story. And then he's you know, spoiler alert, his father dies tragically.
Yep. And I mean that's one of the scenes that they actually cut out of the movie, like that, or not entirely. They tried to show it in the movie, and I think it worked okay. But I don't know. I really like how Hal just like looks up to his father, and I like what Johns does with with his family relationship with his mom and brothers, because it just like there's that line later in the book where he goes, "I was always Dad's kid, Jack was always Mom's, Jim was somewhere in the middle."
And I took that away, and you know, it says like Jim was on his own path, and I took that away from him, because after you know
that's it.
Yeah, that's it. because it's really is because Hal Jordan isn't a perfect human being. I mean, yes, he has a story arc and he comes to terms with what he's done and that he's not there for his family, and he's been kind of selfish and kind of, well, it's really quite tragic. You can understand his plight, but at the same time, you can just, complex character development. That is good. I mean,
yeah. Thank you. Usually, no, I do really like that about him. Is he goes through this big arc through the thing, and it really is natural because he's got this giant thing thrust upon him of like being a space cop, and it's just that he has no idea what it is, and that everyone else treats it like it's such a big deal. He realizes, yeah, I've got to actually make that a thing now. I've got to actually live up to that now, because someone sees something in me that I don't, and I'm going to try to find it.
Yeah. And
I really like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, well, in this book at least, it's Hal Jordan is just. I just love the way everything's paced out. I mean, I know this has been written pre all this whole. Is this pre Blackest Night or after? I mean, or before?
It was. I'm sorry. It was before or after what?
Was this written before or after Blackest Night?
It was written just before. Like, I'm pretty sure the script was already done for Blackest Night. Blackest Night hadn't come out yet.
Okay. But, I mean, yes, me being, a guy who hasn't read a lot of Green Lantern at all, basically, seeing this and obviously set up something interesting in this giant, opus that Jeff Johns done with the Green Lantern, it's really great because there's some really great scenes in this book. It's rather a small trade considering everything. It's like 6 issues or whatever. But in those 6 in those 6 issues, there's just so much stuff packed in there. And the art, oh my god, the art in this is just gorgeous. I mean...
Yeah, can I actually talk about my favorite thing that I absolutely love about this artist, what he does with Green Lantern?
Sure.
Alright, so every superhero, more or less has that, like, emblem on their chest. You got Superman's shield, Batman's little bat symbol, what have you. And Green Lantern was no exception for years and years. He had the Green Lantern symbol on his chest. And he still does, depending on what book you're reading. But I absolutely love what Ivan Reis does with the symbol. And he continues this throughout, like, the majority of the books that he does with Jeff Johns here, of having the symbol be a projection, and the shirt and the, like, costume just having the white circle. I think that is the coolest looking thing for some reason.
That is.
It's just projected off of the costume. And the first time you see that in this book, to my knowledge, is in the scene where Hal says the oath for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool big full-page spread. I really love it.
Yeah, and it's cool because the actual Green Lantern album is a shadow. And it's just like, oh, that is so clever. You clever dick. Oh, my God. And
I love that. Everything I do with Green Lantern, I always try to make that happen. As far as film and animation and stuff that I've been doing. Like, I'm doing a video game prototype right now, and it's set in, like, a Green Lantern universe, but I use my Red Lantern Kratos that you can see in our intro. For that, I actually have the symbol, the Red Lantern symbol, doing that same thing because I think it's really neat.
Yeah, and there's just such wondrous world building here. I know this has been written afterwards, but it's just, for me being so, I know I keep mentioning this, but this is just a great introduction to the series, and I bought this because I'm gonna give it to my, not give it to my Russian summer camp program, but let them loan it so the young children can have some sort of ray of hope, of joy, and whimsy as their minds being slowly broken, by the priests of the Russian Orthodox Church. It's just, it's a great little thing, and it sets up so much stuff. I love the fact, I'm really sad this wasn't carried over in the movie, is that the Guardians are kind of afraid of the Green Lanterns. That's why, it's not subtle, but you don't pay attention to it as the story goes on. When you first get to Oa, all the buildings are yellow. and you just see a bunch of Green Lanterns flying around, and the character designs are great in here. It's just like all these different aliens. It's really, it's just...
Oh, that first scene where he gets on Oa is, like, I love that page when he comes out of the wormhole in Oa.
Oh, it's so good.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It is. Just all these, that beats, if this was ever made into a movie, like a good one, that would beat out that whole, bar scene in Star Wars, like, 100-fold. Damn.
Right?
I mean,
that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, it'd be just like so many fucking different types of aliens. It's so great. And it's funny enough, there isn't really a set villain here in this story. There are two conflicts. One is, Hector Hammond, who, essentially... Let's talk about Hector Hammond in this. Unlike in the movie, he's just kind of a dick. In this, he's just a dick. He's just like, he's kind of a...
He's kind of like a creeper.
Yeah, he is. He kind of treats Carol Ferris like, oh, were you trying to steal my girl? And Carol's like, we only had one dinner and nothing happened. Like, what are you getting this from? We just had one dinner talking about business, and you act like I'm your fucking wife. What the hell is wrong with you? And he's just like calls her and just keeps calling her like we should talk over dinner, like acting like they're married. And it's like it's like you don't want me to give you a bad report because I'm like a scientist or whatever, bad health check or whatever. And he's kind of quasi blackmailing her into a relationship, and it's kind of pathetic. And it is pathetic, but it's just like it's kind of creepy. And then he starts hearing people's voices, people's thoughts once he's exposed to this meteor, which is essentially the power core to Abinsur's ship. And it's just, people think, others think of him what we think of him. He's like, that mustache makes him look like a pedophile. Jesus, what a goddamn...
I love that line. Oh my god. Talk about a modern comic book line. You could never get away with that back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god.
No, I really do like Hector Hammond's portrayal in this. He's just such a creeper.
Uh-huh.
Just one of those guys who's so obsessed with himself. And the other story, which I wasn't sure if you'd get or not, because... Alright, so there's the stuff with Atrocitus.
Yeah. I got that it was setting something up, yeah. Essentially, I know what you're saying.
Not just that, though. Back in the day when Alan Moore wrote comics and didn't just bitch about the world, back in that simpler time, he did a story about, what led to Abinsur's death, and in that story, Abinsur went to the planet Ismalt, spelled with a Y, and talked to the 5 inversions who were like these weird psychic monster things.
From Sector 666, I love that little detail.
Yeah, one of those. I personally, I think the 666 thing is always a cliche, but whatever.
I know, but I like the fact that everyone refers to them as demons, and it's it's like clever, kind of.
Yeah. Anyway, no. So he talks to the 5 inversions, and they tell him that he will die because in his moment of greatest need, his ring will fail him. And that was just more or less a throwaway story. They're like, actually, hold on. The whole thing was, there will be a war of light, blah, 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 Sodom Yacht will die, blah, 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 and in your moment of greatest need, Abinsur, your ring will fail you, and you will die. That's basically the whole, important thing. The blackest night will come after the war of light. And that's really cool, it's a really neat idea and everything, but it's it just more or less got forgotten. And then Jeff Johns comes on, and he starts writing everything that leads up to the Blackest Night. And in here, he actually connected it back to the 5 inversions, and I really love that, the prophecy is, your ring will fail you in your greatest moment of need, and it's Atrocitus that's there, and he's one of the inversions, and he's all like, and it did fail you, or rather, you failed it. Because you had fear in your heart, and it leaked through to your constructs, which allowed me to get free and kill you. I love that!
I love that. That's the thing I love most about these fucking vague prophecies that supervillains make. They always leave 2, 3, 4 things out that kind of fuck up the villain. That's why I hate prophecies. In general, it's just like, oh, this thing will happen, and it did, and yeah.
Well, it's such a classic myth thing. It goes right back to, like, Oedipus, where, your son will kill you and marry his mother. Oh, well, shit, I don't want that to happen. I'll just throw my son away. And then the son gets saved at the last minute because he was thrown away and raised. And then the kid finds out about this prophecy, and he loves his adoptive parents. No, the kid finds out about his prophecy, and he loves his own adoptive parents, but he doesn't know that he's adopted, so he runs away from home, and he kills a man while he's headed to this new city, and then he marries the queen of the city, and then he finds out that that's his mom, and that he killed his father, and then he drags his eyes out. That's like kind of the same thing, where it's because you know about the prophecy.
Needing needles. Oh my god, that's the most horrible detail.
Yeah, because you know about... I like that irony of, because you know about the prophecy, it comes true kind of thing.
I love that, too. It's great because it's just... Well, personally, I find, like, we don't get the full, giant bobblehead Hector Hammond, which I just love as a design. Because, like, I know you...
Not yet.
Well, not yet, but, I have seen, like, an issue of him when he looks like that. A few images here and there. And it just looks so creepy to me. Here we just have, kind of a... His head isn't really that bloated. It's just kind of... Look, for a creeper, everyone here is, like, works out. Damn. I mean, it's just, like... I don't know what it is. Like, Hector Hammond is just, like, he's got a hell of a bod on him. It's like, Jesus Christ. And it's just, I know you keep, dissing Hector Hammond because he is a weak villain or whatever, but he's just...
I didn't diss him, I just don't really care about him one way or the other.
Like, for me at least, I just love him as a design because he just looks so freaking creepy, just this bobble-headed, like, psychic who's just drooling and has no facial, emotions. And it's so creepy, it's just, Jesus, you're a creepy bastard.
Yeah. Hector Hammond's a freak.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
No, we get bobblehead Hector Hammond, I think 2 trades from now.
Cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's where he hides in somebody's closet, right?
No.
Okay. How the hell did he get in there in the first place?
It took a lot of room.
He's like, okay, I gotta float this thing. Like, he just has to dismantle half the house.
Like, the person walks in the fucking room and everything's just, like, from their closets just strewn across the bed. They're like, what the fuck happened? And then the voice from the closet, nothing!
Oh my god.
I don't know about that issue. I might just be forgetting it. It's been like a year and a half since I've read any of these. I've been on a Green Lantern kick recently. I went and rewatched the animated series. I just finished that the other night. God, I'm so pissed that show's not going to continue.
That really is tragic. That it's horrible because, god damn it, like, they don't give a show enough, time to breathe and find its own way. And Green Lantern really did that in, like, straight off the bat. And then it's just like...
Oh, it's a great show, and it's... I mean, we got 2 seasons, and everyone out there is like, oh, it was only 1 season in 2 parts. Listen, 13 episodes came out, which is the length of a season sometimes. 13 episodes came out, it told a complete story, and then they waited a year, and then we got another 13 episodes. That's 2 seasons.
Yeah. But anyway. I love just... like this, what else can I say? This whole story looks gorgeous. It reads...
Well, we gotta talk... we gotta talk about one other thing, man.
What is that?
Sinestro.
Oh, fuck, yes. Jesus Christ. I mean, he's the only creature in the universe that can make the pedophile mustache look good. I mean, damn! I'm looking at this image of him. He kind of has Hal Jordan in this bubble. And he's gonna have his arms crossed, and he's like, Green Lantern of Sector 2814. You were wasting time. Like, damn, boy!
Yeah, I really like Sinestro in this, because most things when they introduce Sinestro, even the animated series did this, most things when they introduce Sinestro, they'll make him look cool as a Green Lantern, for a little while, and then he'll do something. It's like, oh, this guy's gonna be a villain, and I like that this one doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just like a really good Green Lantern in this one.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, I like that as well, because he's touted as the greatest. And you kind of get that from him, because he's so no nonsense, and he kind of really does, he's not like that wishy-washy, like, I know what you're feeling now, Jordan. He's like, he doesn't give Jordan any he gives him shit. He's just like, I know where you've been I know where you're coming from, but that's bullshit. Grow the fuck up, get over it. And Hal's like, I don't like you, but you're fucking right. And it's just like, and it's this kind of weird, like, older veteran teaching a rookie the ropes, and it's kind of sweet. Like, in a very masculine way. It's like, those they don't even smile at each other, ever. But you get, like, they shake hands, and it's just like, yep, we're men.
Yeah.
We're men.
I really do, I absolutely adore how he does, I just like how they do him in this. I think it works really well. God, Sinestro's so cool, and it's good to see him as, like, a good guy, because that makes his turn all the more tragic. And I'm really sad that Jeff Johns decided to walk away from the book without doing another prequel where we get to see the turn of Sinestro,
We don't get to we don't get to see that?
No, I mean, this is the only, like, prequel stuff Jeff Johns really did. Like, I mean, there's a couple other little things, like scenes from other books, but nothing, like, major. I was really looking forward to that, because they kind of set it up, when Sinestro leaves, he's like, I'll see you another time, Jordan, or something. I'll see you in, like, 2 or 3 months, Jordan.
Yeah, like, and this time we'll go on my world, so I can show you, like, see, my planet isn't like a shithole like Earth is.
Yeah, I mean, Sinestro's always been, like, his origin, it works, but I really would have liked to see Jeff Johns redo it in a way that would work better. He's
a sympathetic space Hitler.
Reasonably, yes.
I don't know if he's still like a dictator in this reimagining or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Jeff Johns went with that in all of his stuff, but I really wanted to see, like, how far he'd go.
Yes.
I'd like to see that turn, and, we don't really get it, and I've always been disappointed by that. But I don't know, maybe he'll come back to the book eventually or something.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking at this one panel. It's basically where in Sinestro, when Atrocitus is kind of giving his doomsday prophecies, like, your people will fucking turn on you, and anarchy and death will lead, you'll engulf your planet. And you get a shot at Atrocitus, God, I can't speak today. You get a shot of the scary red alien's eyes, and you see the red lantern symbol, and it's like, is that just how his eyes look, or is that, like, a hint to the future? Or both?
Ivan Reis did this thing, and I really like it. Because it's supposed to be like this energy that, like, everyone has in them, all of the different spectrums. He did this thing where the symbol isn't just like some arbitrary thing that people make up. It's a fundamental part of its appearance, of the force appearing. So he did that a lot where, like, there's a great shot in Rebirth, and you'll see it, where the Green Lantern symbol just pops up in the guy's, pupil. And it's really cool looking.
I'm looking at...
So, he did that a lot.
This guy's art just looks amazing. I mean, I'm looking at this giant splash page when the first introduction to Oa, and there's this dude who's just a giant head. And it's so cool.
I'm trying to find the page again. Hold on.
Yeah. A fishman tells Hal Jordan to fuck off and watch where he's flying.
Tomar Ray?
No.
I like Tomar Ray.
Not Tomar Ray. It's a different guy. It's a guy with a fishbowl.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's got the fishbowl head.
Yeah, fishbowl head.
Oh, okay. You're talking about... Alright. I know the guy you're talking about.
I remember some of these characters from, Justice League Unlimited. And, the guy with the head, the giant head man is there.
Yeah, I can never remember that dude's name. I like in the animated series where, there's the guy of the same species for the Red Lanterns, and Atrocitus just kicks him around like a giant beach ball.
I mean, like, yeah, essentially, yeah. Like, that's funny because these types of species do show up in the DC universe, and it's kind of cool. I mean, there's a Wolfman Green Lantern flying around. There's a robot.
Yeah.
Is that a...
Oh, how'd you like the Jon Stewart cameo, or did you catch it?
I didn't catch it. Where is it? Oh, yeah, yes. I remember now. It's when the Marines and the Air Force are fighting, and one of the guys like, "Hey, Stewart, come join the fight."
You see that, Stewart? That jet jockey just knocked down one of ours.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Here we go." And then Hal and Jon Stewart fight each other. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's not Jon Stewart, because that same guy went like, "Hey, baby, come to my bed."
No. It's you're thinking the wrong thing.
Oh.
That's the guy that Hal knocked out.
Ah.
And Jon Stewart was just sitting there, and he gets in a fight.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's
You should be happy. There is more fighting than the Air Force will show you all year. That I better make count.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I thought that was a great cameo. And I like that they actually cameo Jon Stewart instead of fucking Guy Gardner.
What's wrong with Guy Gardner?
I get so sick of Guy Gardner.
Everyone,
he just annoys me.
Everyone hates Guy Gardner. I don't know if, like, I'm not as big as a Green Lantern fan because I haven't read as much, but will the hate of Guy Gardner be, given to me as I read on?
Well, we're not reading Green Lantern Corps, so he's not going to be in it as much. I guess my problem with Guy Gardner is he always is just like, he's like the kid that shows up to class, it's like, hey, pay attention to me! Pay attention to me!
So he's like my brother.
You can't ignore him is the problem.
Interesting.
Alright. I'm all about out of thoughts. I just wanted to talk about Jon Stewart there because I really liked him. How'd you like the reveal for Carol Ferris's father?
I thought that was really heart-wrenching. And it's like, so sweet. And it's just like, oh, that's a really great character point for Hal. It's just like, he's been holding this grudge forever. That's why he's been acting the way he's been acting. It doesn't excuse his actions, but it's just like he's been angry for a long time, and he's finally found the person who he's been angry at, and he's going to confront this asshole who essentially caused the death of his father. And it's just this broken down old man whose guilt for the action that he did kind of ate him away inside, and his daughter is kind of taking over the family business, and she's failing, and she's trying. Well, she's not failing, but she's trying her hardest, but it's hard. And it's just that really sweet scene where Carol and Hal just hug in the rain. It's just like, it's so sweet. And then this one panel where essentially, Jordan kind of projects a vision of his father.
That's actually the page I'm looking at right now. That's a very important scene because it'll play up in a trade in the future here. So that's a very important scene. The idea is the ring allows you to let go of really tragic events in your life and overcome them and be able to live with them, if that makes sense.
That's quite cool.
And that's why Sinestro's all like, you just witnessed the true power of the ring.
Mm-mm.
Well, there is one line exchange between Hal and Sinestro that I really love, where Sinestro's like, we keep our battery in a pocket dimension to be able to charge our ring whenever we need to. And Hal's all like, I keep mine in my locker.
I love that. Like
you can almost like hear the music die right there, Like you can almost hear like this epic ass dramatic music just go. Brr.
That's so sweet. That's so funny. I mean, that's a really cool concept, actually. Just like, hey, a pocket dimension for your power ring. I was like, like a little kid in me was like, golly wowzers, that's so neat.
Quit saying golly wowzers.
Why?
I love when Sinestro rebuilds the jet. That is so kick-ass.
That is so kick-ass. I like the scene with the Guardians, where basically like, one of you chosen a name. Which one? And it's great because Hal kind of gives them some shit, and then Sinestro comes in and is like, okay, just calm the fuck down. I've seen worse, just calm the fuck down. Let the big boy handle this. And this one scene, like, install fear in us. You know what I know? You know what I think? I think you're afraid.
Yep.
I think you're afraid.
I really do like that.
How dare you accuse the Guardians of feeling fear? And all these little blue midgets float around and get.
Yeah. Okay, here's the line. What are you doing? Recalling my power battery. Don't tell me Slock didn't educate you on confined pocket dimensions and the storage of personal charging units. I keep mine in my locker.
There's this one panel that it just screams Neil Adams. It's just so Neil Adams, because the face of Hal, he looks like he was drawn by Neil Adams. I guess that was, an unconscious thing, but it's just such a Neil Adams panel. I don't know where it is, but I when I found it, I'm like, damn, it's so Neil Adams. And yeah, it's just
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm all out of stuff to say. How about you, Milan? Anything else you wanted to bring up? I'm just flipping through this, looking for anything important to mention.
Yes, that's right. It's funny that the Hal's fellow mechanic, who I forget his name, the Asian kid.
Yeah.
It's funny because like his first introduction, you have some pilot call him Pie Face, and Hal's just like.
Yeah.
Oh, pie face, like, Eskimo pie, I get it, you racist cunt. But it's funny because back in the day, that was his name. He was essentially a racist sidekick to the Green Lantern, and they kind of retooled him to be like, hey, I'm a smart person who is equal to the hero, kinda.
I did not know that. That's pretty clever.
That is, because like, back in the day, Green Lantern, like, the little kid was like, essentially the yellow-faced version of Indiana Jones,
Oh my God!
that
Short Round.
The Short Round.
Oh my God!
He was essentially Short Round, and Green Lantern was like, "Oh, Pie Face, how are you doing?"
That actually makes the scene where the guy says that make a lot of sense, because Green Lantern was infamously accused of being a racist at one point.
Yeah.
In the Green Lantern, Arrow comics.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty clever. Good catch, man.
Yeah. One more thing. This fucking kid with his obsession with corpses. This Hand fellow. I'm like,
William Hand.
Hand is just like, he's just standing over a dead body. He's like, and Mom comes in like, what are you doing? I just wanted to feel how cold they were, Mommy. I was like, why can't you be a good Christian?
It's like,
I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry. What the fuck? Fucking necrophilia.
Yeah.
That is like the best place for a necrophiliac to work. Fucking.
No, he doesn't work there. He lives there.
Oh my God!
He lives in a
worse.
mortuary. His parents own a mortuary, and he lives there.
Yeah.
All right.
One more thing. I wanted to one more thing. One little detail.
Okay, go.
Just so I can end with this one tiny bit of crudeness. Carol Ferris is just drawn beautifully here. She's just gorgeous. I mean, she's like, I never understood why they made her look so slutty, like, with the pink lanterns or whatever it was. Was it the violet lanterns? I don't know.
Star Sapphires.
And now it's like, she's drawn here, she's a very beautiful, voluptuous woman. And I'm like, I kind of want to see her in a pink, skin-tight spacesuit. And I do. I mean, like this one scene here where she's sitting, and she's looking at the picture of her dad. There's like boxes all around, and she cracks for a brief moment. And she's about to tear up, and the door. Somebody knocks on the door.
So something about this tragic, emotional scene makes you want to see her drawn scantily clad.
No.
That says so many strange things about you.
No. Like, just some scenes in the very beginning when she was wearing like a mini skirt. When the Green Lantern and her meet for the first time, she's like, "That girl got some leg," but. For real beauty.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, the
real
Ivan Reese.
But the thing is, she evolved from eye candy to me in this one scene, because she was kind of an ice queen through half of this issue, But then you get that brief crack where she's sitting at her table. She gets that picture of her dad, sees that picture of her dad, and she's just about to cry. Somebody knocks on the door, and you just get this one panel of her just saying yes, and saying telling the person to come in. And then Jordan comes in, and that one panel. I mean, that is a woman. That is a beautiful woman, gorgeously drawn.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Okay.
I am impressed.
Okay, down, boy.
What? I'm just commending this artist on his ability to draw women. And then there's...
Let me get out the spray bottle.
Okay, fine. Atrocitus eats a bunch of people.
Yep, he sure does.
Sure does.
Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap up. So everyone, that was our review of Green Lantern Secret Origin. We obviously both really enjoy it. It does a lot right. I really don't think there's that much wrong with this book. Nothing really worth mentioning. It's really well done and well handled. I love how it builds Hal Jordan as a character and shows his family life and shows his past in a really effective way.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I started out a little bit, hazy-headed, but I just came back from work. But yeah, this is a great book, a great introduction to a great series from all I can say. I mean, I'm really looking forward to buying more trades and seeing where this wonderful setup goes. I mean, this is some grade A superhero storytelling.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and do our scores. You know how it works, Moron.
Of course. I give it...
I am going to give Green Lantern Secret Origin 4.5 pictures of Hal and his father out of 5.
I'm gonna give this 4.5 Sinestro Corps badass poses out of 5.
Okay.
The thing is, I was gonna say something incredibly witty in a roundabout way about Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool and how it all ties together. I was laying in bed, and I was like, I have this interesting thought about these two things that is funny and witty and whatever. And then I forgot about it, and I'm like, I spent the whole day today at work just like, what was that thing I was going to say that was so clever and smart? And I don't remember it. It's just like,
okay.
That's horrifying. I'm terrible.
Alright. So everyone, thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I am obviously the Madman.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen, and we will be discussing things.